Welcome, everyone. Hi, my name is Milena. I use they, them pronouns. I'll be the community practice leader for tonight. So we'll just wait a few minutes for people to arrive. I guess I can tell you where I'm zooming in from. Okay. This is me laughing nervously. I'm a little nervous, but I'm also very happy to be here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm zooming in from Jojage, Montreal. So just north of many of your borders. Jojage has been a gathering place of many nations, including the Kanien'kehá:ka, or Mohawk, of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Huron-Wendat, Anishinaabe, and Abenaki. And I really love. Well, I sit with some groups from the United States quite a bit, and it's lovely how people that are situated in what we call Vermont and New York and just close to me, and just seeing the overlap between nations. That's something that I've found joy in and connection in. So yeah, we welcome you to introduce yourself in the chat if you would like. You can also write where you're zooming in from, and what ancestral lands those are, if you know it. And if you don't know it, you can look it up. And there's a nice map called nativeland.ca, I believe, native-land.ca. So yeah, tonight will be a led practice, and similar to the other community-led practices. I'll be starting out by introducing myself a bit and just talking about where I'm coming from and what my practice is like and why it's important for me. And then we'll go into the little seven homecomings introduction practice to call in our homecoming circles. And then we'll be doing the chanting the mantras, the opening mantra, and then the main mantra. And then we'll be offering prayer requests. So you can write some prayer requests in the document that Karen will maybe put in the chat, or already did. I'm not really looking at the chat yet. There it is. It's there. It's already there. Thank you very much, Karen. It's optional, but you're welcome to do it. And after we offer the prayers, do a short round of a couple of more of the main mantra. And we'll conclude with Shanti Deva's prayer. So that's pretty much the outline of what we're going to be doing tonight. Thanks everyone for introducing yourselves. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess I'll start by talking a little bit about myself. I experience shyness sometimes. This is one of those times. I'm also not very, very shy also. So who knows? Who knows what it is? It's a whole mix of things. But okay. So I'm a human, most probably. I'm a community organizer. I'm an herbalist. I've started doing drag performance. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. And yeah, I've been practicing yoga for, it's like doing the math, and it's like 20 years. Okay,
Wow.
a long time. I guess, years pass. They do. We go around the sun, and it's a gift to keep going around the sun. Anyway, and about 10 or 12 years ago, I found a teacher training, yoga teacher training that was, the school was based in the West Coast, and the school had a tantric perspective on the yoga teacher training, and it was really beautiful, and it really spoke to me a lot and opened that door for me. Yeah, and I've also been practicing witch for a long time, goddess devotee, and follower of the moon phases and the earth cycles, and lately more getting into saint practices from my heritage, from an Italian background, and so that's been all really lovely. I guess in the last 5 years is when I really started deepening my meditation practice more, and my study of Buddhism. I started organizing with my local queer sangha, and we meet actually online. So you're welcome to join us for every Wednesday at 7. I'll find the link later and put it in. But so that's been really, I guess, my cat wants to join us. Let's just.
Oh, good. Good.
Yes. Okay. So, so that connection, right, between not just practice, but also community, that has been really a huge source of refuge for me. And when our queer sangha with our insight group around here brought in, organized the Lama Rod visit, and that really changed my life, let's be honest. It really allowed me to make connections in my practice that I felt like I had different practices, sort of like a collage, that were not like together, but really through Medicine Buddha, through the 7 homecomings, through being part of Bhumi Sparsha, and having that in my life weekly really helped me to bring it all together, and to start weaving and seeing the connections between the things that I was attracted to and the things that I was doing. Of course, practice doesn't happen in a vacuum, and for me, it's really been colored by my life experiences in the last, I guess, 5 years. I had a burnout from work, and I really wasn't doing well for a while. I had chronic fatigue for a few years. I could hardly do anything without, I mean, just my basic needs. Sometimes I could take care of them, but a lot of the times I couldn't also. And so that's when I really started deepening my my daily practice, because I really needed a source of refuge, and I found it there. And I started sitting daily at my altar, and some days, you know, it was just crying at my altar. Some days, but it didn't matter how long it was, even if some days it was just like 5 minutes. It became a place for me to be with myself and not run away, and not and be present, even when that was the last thing that I wanted to do. Yeah, I mean, I guess part of my collage of practice, you know, it includes meditation and prayer, and tarot sometimes, and divination, and some ritual around the full moon and the new moon, and making offerings. And something I wanted to share that is maybe a bit more personal, is that, I guess, you know, this space, this medicine Buddha space, has been around for 3+ years. And it's been a ride. It's been a ride these 3 years, I think, for most of us. And particularly for me, the last year had really brought a lot of challenges, and I guess I'm going to say that I'm going to maybe just put out a trigger warning around self-harm and suicidal ideation. So there's the trigger warning. Please take care of yourself, and you can stop listening and join back in 5 minutes if you don't want to hear about that. But I think it's really important to talk about, because especially in Buddhist spaces, I feel like I don't hear many people talk about that stuff. And I've often felt like I wasn't allowed to be part of spaces because of those experiences that I've had. And so, yeah, the last year brought a lot of I guess tower moments in my life, like explosions of things, and really brought me to a place of despair. And I've had experienced, you know, ideas about and like self-harm, but it came with an intensity that I had never experienced before, and contemplation of suicide in a way that I had never had before. The reason I want to say this is because I think it speaks to the power of the practice, and I don't think I would have made it through without the 7 homecomings, without this weekly space, without Bhumi Sparsha, and, you know, the daily practice, circle to the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Hi, Elizabeth. They're a lovely, really lovely group. And just knowing that, you know, there were people there, and the practices were there, and, you know, and just getting the reminder over and over from Lama Rod of like, let your heart break, let yourself like be held. And you can only let yourself be held if you like let go, right? And if you really like trust that something will be there to catch you. And so for me, I guess I'm wanting to share my like deep gratitude for you all, for this space, for Lama Rod and his teachings, and how it allowed me to make the links between like my ancestry too, and bring that in, to see that not as a separate thing, to see not like practices like my magic practices as separate, that it's all together, and I don't need to hide parts of it or like pretend parts of it don't exist, and they like inform each other, and they can really support me together, and yeah I think I've talked a lot. I guess I just wanted to share that. And the light here is really beautiful. The sun is setting, and it's been a very cloudy, heavy day, but now it's like a really beautiful light blue and pink and purple clouds, and it's very sweet. And it reminds me of, well, one of the I guess, manifestations of the mother that I call into my practice is an Italian version of a, I guess, Virgin Mary, Madonna della Stella. So she's the mother of the star, which is, clearly Tara. And there's a prayer, and every time I see a star outside, I say the prayer, and it helps me to feel connected to all that is, but also to myself and to Medicine Buddha as well. I feel like it's all a part of that. It's all a part of that healing force that's there for us. So I guess, before we start into the calling in our circles, I'd like to just share the prayer. It's a very short one. It's in Italian, and I'll translate it right away after. So it goes, Madonna della Stella, dove risiede quella, più avanti non si va. Mia gloriosa immagine, Maria Divina Stella, dove risiede quella, più avanti non si va. Vi prego d'accettare le grazie di favori. Preghiamola di cuore che ci potrà aiutare. So, Mother of the star, where you reside, nothing exists beyond. May you receive our prayers and our offerings, so that we can be helped by you, something like that. So thank you so much for listening to that, and for holding space for me to share that. And if I would like to, I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna open up a Slack channel called Mad Pride. And if anybody wants to connect around those issues, and how it connects with practice, I'd love to talk about that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I invite you to get even more comfortable than you are. And just feeling the support of your chair, of your bed, of your sofa, on the floor. And allowing yourself to be held and seeing if you can trust that support and let go into it a little bit more. So we'll start by evoking our homecoming circles. And we'll start with our guides. And so you can bring to mind any teacher or deity, angel, saint, any kind of guide that has shown you the way, and invite them into your circle. And now bring to mind any wisdom texts, any forms of wisdom that have really been powerful and beneficial for you. And they can take all sorts of shapes, formal books or songs, or even memes, anything that has helped you to see clearly. And you can invite that into your circle. And now you can bring your attention to the communities where you feel like you can be yourself and where you feel supported. And if those communities don't exist for you yet, then you can invite the aspiration that they will exist for you in the future. And so feeling these growing circles around you of your guides, your wisdom texts, your communities. And next we can bring in our ancestors, our enlightened ancestors, maybe the ones that love us and that want us to be well, whether we know them or not. I'm just believing that they exist because they help to bring us here, and just inviting them in to support us tonight in our practice. Now we'll bring our attention to our lineage, whatever lineages you feel like you're a part of in your intersecting identities. People that maybe were activists like you, or that made space for you to be able to be who you are in a more free way. And invite them in. Now we'll bring our attention to the earth. And what I like to do for this homecoming is to imagine all my favorite plants and animals and see them around me. So my favorite plants and my favorite trees and my favorite flowers and my favorite animals. My cat just jumped on my lap, so my cat obviously as well. And if that speaks to you, you can invite specific parts, specific expressions of the earth to join you. To ground you. Next, we'll bring in silence. The space that surrounds everything. I like to think or see the sky or outer space when I think of this homecoming. And finally, we'll bring our attention to ourselves and seeing how we're holding all these circles and holding this practice for ourselves, and how we can be part of our homecoming. As we sit in these beautiful homecoming circles, and knowing that we are also all together in a larger circles of where we have our separate homecoming circles, and we also have our collective one taking care of us tonight and protecting our practice. So we'll start with the opening mantra, which is Om Menla Sangye Kino Soha. It's basically inviting Medicine Buddha to be with us. You can see it in the chat if you'd like. Om Menla Sangye Kino Soha. Om Menla Sangye Kino Soha. Om Menla Sangye Kino Soha. Now we'll move on to the main mantra. Eyata Om Bekense Maha Bekense Tata Sumungate Soha. Like this, I pray for the end of pain and suffering and the root of pain and suffering. And I release the energy of this prayer out to all the worlds so that we all may be liberated. Teyata beganze, beganze, ma beganze, radha sumangate soha. Teyata beganze, beganze, maha 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 beganze, radha sumangate soha. I'll be offering the prayer requests now. Prayers for my patients as I toggle through despair and feelings of connection. Prayers for my out of work partner that he finds some new work that sustains him and the family. Prayers for my autistic daughter, that she be fulfilled, connected, and that she thrive. Prayers for all those suffering under war and oppressive state actions. Prayers for all those lost and brokenhearted. Prayers for all those abandoned and alone, especially children. Prayers for Jen, Karen, and Vanessa, as they each care for the aging parents. Prayers for Bryn as she deals with medical issues. Prayers for Kent as he fights depression. Prayers that I find a new way to make money that I hate less, or that perhaps fulfills me. Prayers for Jay as he battles depression and ideation. Prayers for Jay and JA as JA descends into Alzheimer's. Prayers for A as he grieves his mother's death and the death of a home he hoped to return to. Prayers of gratitude for my beloved. Offering prayers for all my teachers. Prayers for allowing creative force to flow through me. Prayers for Diane and her family as they deal with the death of her sister. Prayers for Elle as they reach a breaking point with their housing situation and the attempt to work with it and care for themselves while living with brain fog and chronic fatigue and with very limited resources. Prayers for space around my chronic pain and for all with chronic illness. And more prayers for those living with chronic pain and illness. Prayers that New York can be as peaceful as possible during the presidential drama here this week. Prayers for all dealing with trauma, known or unknown. Prayers for me as I work with a recent diagnosis of complex PTSD and a long life of experiencing and living with developmental trauma. Prayers for healing for me with an injury and health issues. Prayer for guidance on my journey to Barcelona to get my master's. Prayers to heal from the trauma that doesn't allow me to let people love me. Prayers for all the broken, heartbroken people. Prayers for myself as I apply for a new job. Prayers for my dear friend M and me, that we may move past our conflict and our disappointments in each other and reconnect with each other's humanity and good intentions and mutual admiration. Prayers for my mother and my two sisters, that they have peace and ease. Prayers for my daughter from another mother, that she be safe from harm and fulfilled and deeply cared for. Prayers for all the cats and dogs and all the animals, those who live with humans as companion animals and those who live in other parts of the world, especially those threatened because of our actions and those lost. Prayers for the Klamath River Restoration Project, that all who contribute to it carry the spirit of the salmon with them in their work. Prayers for M, that they do not experience any more injury and that they continue to survive their human life with severe Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Prayers for D, that they do not experience more injuries and that they find ways to heal from those they have, and that they find ways not to just survive, but to thrive, to know they are beautiful and worthy and loved. Prayers for all children and young people who are protesting mass shootings, that they can finally be heard and have their safety and well-being protected. Prayers for my friend Sam Starling, who recently entered the Bardo, and his wife Marie. They have been together since childhood. For my friend Chava Bale, who will have a biopsy on Friday. For Tom Phillips, having a heart catheterization tomorrow. For Shaya Eisenberg, with a new device to control chronic pain. For Rick, who has entered hospice, and his wife Sally and their family. For myself, trying to contain so many feelings for all these friends, as well as the earth herself, and all the violence in our world that is breaking all our hearts. May those with the power to do something wake up to the great needs of our time rather than their own personal greed. Also in need of prayer for my own various physical challenges. Prayers for my distant patrilineal family, that they are all well and thriving. Prayers for myself that I am separated from them and feel unable to fit. Prayers for the houseless people everywhere. May they be seen in their full humanness, worthiness, and grace. May they become humanely housed soon in choice, and may they receive the support and opportunities they need and deserve. Prayers for people who use their spoons caring for others. Prayers for me and others to find peace amidst the pervasiveness of systemic violence. I'd like to also offer a prayer for trans people, especially in this heightening, rising violence and hate, and may we be protected and cared for and celebrated. And also making space for the prayers that were not articulated, but are in our space tonight. They also be offered. And may our homecoming circles hold these prayers and see that they come to fruition. We'll just do a few more rounds of the main mantra to send the prayers forth. Teata beganze maha beganze radha sumangate soha. 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 Teata Kadasumungate soam. Deyata om beganze mabeganze. Kadasumungate soam. Deyata om beganze kadasumungate soam. Maybe staying in this space for a few more moments. Be offering gratitude to your homecoming circles coming to meet you and meet us tonight. Maybe taking a few deep breaths. Come back to the body, to the space. Maybe I like to touch my body and just see that, oh yeah, it's here. And just feeling into the support of the earth under you. Maybe feeling your feet on the ground. Maybe stretching a little. Maybe yawning. And slowly adjusting to coming back into your space, and then maybe in our Zoom space, the screen, all these beautiful people. And so we'll close with Shanti Deva's prayer. And so it's in the chat. And so what we did last week that I really loved, we kind of did a popcorn style Shanti Deva's prayer. So basically, so I'll start it, and you can, I'll just say a few lines. And then when I stop, somebody else can just jump in and say as much as they want. And then when they stop, somebody else can jump in. And it worked really beautifully last week. And it gave a different energy, to more of a collective energy to the prayer. So invite us to try that out, and with a, let's see what happens kind of spirit. So, okay, I'll start us off. May I be a protector for those without protection, a leader for those who journey.
And a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away.
May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed.
just like the space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures.
And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space.
May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey.
And a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore.
May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine. May I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed.
Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures.
And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space.
And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space.
May I be a protector to those without protection.
A leader for those who journey.
And a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore.
May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away.
May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse.
For all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed.
Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures.
And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space.
Thank you so much, everyone. That was really, really beautiful. I don't know. I think that I guess completes the practice. If anybody wants to say anything, or you're welcome to.
I would like to say something. I want to say thank you. That was really lovely. And I think I'm right that tomorrow is the anniversary of Martin Luther King's assassination. And I would just like to remember that, because there's so many of us who were living then, and so many people who were so shocked and devastated by that are still here with us now. And so much good has been done in his name since then, and still is being done. So I just want to remember that day and, the impact of his life.
Thanks, Rachel.
I just want to say a quick thank you to all of the community facilitators. Thank you so much, Milena, and everyone that has these community sessions have been so precious to me. I really, really love them. So thank you all for holding space for us.
And I believe Lama Rod is back next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a regular practice.
See you next week.
Thank you all. Thank you, Milena.